Yup, it finally happened, fam. Finally happened. After selling half of my leg, selling a kidney, and working 30 years while being amputated, I finally made enough money to build this deck right here. Because you're gonna need to make some sacrifices to build this expensive ass deck, bro. I'm gonna tell you that much. You might have to go in the corner and sell some sandy cheeks, GTA style, to build this deck right here, because this thing is expensive. But with that being said, what I really do, DC gang, welcome back to the channel, my boys, my gangsters. As always, I hope you guys are having a great day out there, gang. So with that being said, it's a 40 card deck list. We're gonna get straight into it. We're gonna break it down. I also do have another deck list that I was playing without the Domatica package. I wanted to try both versions out, see which one I like the most. But before we get into all the shenanigans, just a quick reminder, if you guys enjoyed the content, please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the boy, because I would really appreciate it. So we're gonna play 3 Duel and Lockbirds. Duel and Lockbird is actually really good in the current meta. It's really good against you, Bell. It's really good for the mirror match. And it doesn't completely stop Snake Eyes or Fire King Snake Eyes, but it does slow down the board that they can make, even though they're still gonna probably play through the Duel and Lockbird. But you know, I think Duel and Lockbird is actually pretty decent in the current meta. So we're gonna run 3 copies of it. If you want to run 2, that's also fine. I feel like 3 is the way to go. Also with all the Max C shenanigans, even though this deck plays well under Max C, you still want to run the draw. So then we're gonna run 3 low, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. I did lose my voice while building this deck because I was crying, but either way, we're gonna run 3 copies of this thing. It's technically your main starter. The thing is nuts. I really like the artwork of it and everything, so we run 3 copies of it. Every time you ritual summon one of your light monsters, is gonna special summon itself onto the field. Well, not every time. It only does that once per turn, but you know. Then we're gonna run 3 Maxi for Maxi reasons. Then we're gonna run the Diviner, which is another 1 card combo, right? And also you could use that as ritual material depending on how big you make it and stuff like that, you know, because you only need basically level 7s for you to ritual summon into your main ritual summon monsters. So we're gonna run 3 copies of that thing. Then we're gonna run 3 Ash Blossom for Ash Blossom reasons, mainly to stop the Maxi and all the other shenanigans that we need to stop. Then we're gonna play 3 Safara, the Queen of the Voiceless Voice, which is crazy this thing as you are, because it's never in the field at all. It's always in the graveyard, banished, or in your hand. But either way, we play 3 copies of it because it allows us to search out our ritual monsters, and then we could also use her effect to ritual summon from the, use her effect from the graveyard to ritual summon onto the field, right? So it's pretty good. Then we're gonna run 1 Sylvaris Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice. This thing can become in clutch, especially if you special summon it during your turn. You could use this effect to special summon your Sylvaris later, which is really cool. And of course, we're gonna run 1 Domatica Maximus, one time for the Domatica package. We're gonna run 1 Trias Hierarchia. This thing right here, which is basically how you do your 1 card combo with the Diviner. We're gonna run 1 Nibiru for Nibiru reasons. Nibiru is still not that great in this current meta, but it does do well against certain decks if you time it well and all that. So we run 1 copy of it. Then we're gonna run 1 copy of the Sylvaris. Some people play it at 2. For this specific deck list, I'm playing it at 1. For the other one that I was playing it at 2. I think that this thing at 1 is also fine. So if you're on a budget and you're worried about having 2 of these, don't. You're perfectly fine with just 1 copy, trust me. So then we're gonna run 2 Skull Guardians. This you definitely want to run a 2, just in case something happens to the first one, it gets called by the grave or whatever, even though you could technically bring it back from the banish zone. But I think running this at 2 is pretty good. Then we're gonna run 1 Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon, which I wasn't playing in the other version, and I think this thing is tough. I think you should definitely play this in this deck if you're gonna play it. I think this thing is a must, because in one of the combos that you make, this deck does die to a Call by the Grave, and this thing is your protection against that. You're gonna see how. So we're gonna play 1 copy of it. We're gonna play 2 preparations of Right, so I can rightly prepare for my W's. Again, you could play this at 3 or whatever, but to keep the deck at 40, I decided to keep this at 2. That's pretty much it. Then we're gonna run 2 Nadia Servants because it's limited to 2, of course. And basically, you know how this goes. Activate, send a card to the graveyard, which most most of the time it's gonna be like a Garura. So you could draw a card while searching the DS7, and then you do your Dramatic and Maximus combo from there by sending the Herald of the Arc Light and searching out your combo pieces, right? So we run 2 copies of it. Now this thing, the Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, I am playing it at 2 because I was doing a lot of research in the Master Duel Meta website. I saw some people playing this at 2. I wanted to give it a try. I kind of think it's okay at 2, but there were times, there was 1 or twice when I wanted this to be at 3. Because this thing got popped, so I decided to activate the prayers to bring it back, well, special summon the other copy into the field. And then I had the other copy in the hand, which means I can't activate the Saphira because this thing is in my hand, so I have to find a way to send it back into the deck, which most of the time you might not be able to do unless you do it with this thing. So I think running this at 3 is also a must. But I'm just letting you know how I was playing it at the time. Then we're gonna run 3 barriers of the Voiceless Voice. This thing technically could also be a kind of like a 1-card combo into something. But this thing is tough. It protects your light monsters from being destroyed, targeted, and all the extra shenanigans, which is really cool. And it also searches out one of your Voiceless Voice cards, right? Then we're gonna run 1 Blessings of the Voiceless Voice, and this thing is also nuts because it's gonna allow you to ritual summon during your turn and during your opponent's turn. As long as a monster is normal, as long as a monster that's not a ritual summon is special summon, normal summon onto the field, you can activate this thing's effect during your opponent's turn and ritual summon that way, which can be nuts. You're gonna see how. Then it also recycles your banished cards and stuff like that. This thing can target one of your banished cards, one of the ones in the graveyard, and just bring it back to the hand, which is pretty nuts. So that's insane. Then we're gonna run 3 Infinite Impermanence for infinite impermanence reasons, one of the best hand traps. Then we're gonna run 1 Radiance of the Voiceless Voice, and this thing is tough because it can pop monsters up to the number of ritual monsters that you have on the field, which can be 3. Most of the time it will be 2, but depending on how you build the board, it can be 3 pops, which is insane. It also recycles your cards, and it does a lot of different shenanigans. For the extra deck, we're going to run 1 Elder Entity, we're going to run 1 Garura, which these are just targets. For example, if you normal summon the Diviner, if you got to send cards to the graveyard, it might be this if you're going second to pop a card on the field. It could be the Garura, so you could draw a card. It could be the Herald of the Arc Light, so that way you could search out, you know, your combo pieces. Then we're going to run 1 Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, because this is what you special summon with the effect of the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. When you activate this thing's effect to negate, you put it back in the pendulum zone, and then you can special summon this thing, which is an extra body. It's a level 7, so you could even use this thing as ritual summon material, right? Then we're gonna run 1 Chaos Angel, because you can make it with your level 1s and your level 9, right? So it's really good. Then we're gonna run 1 Super Slayer the Typhoon, which you don't necessarily need to run it. I don't dislike Typhoon, but I don't necessarily like Typhoon. Sometimes it's useless, sometimes it's okay. Then we're gonna run 1 Link Karibo, we're gonna run 1 Secure Gardener, we're gonna run 1 IP Mascarenita, 1 Trafigate Ferriette, and basically this is another fodder card, so you can send to the graveyard to draw a card. Unfortunately, you still have to grab a card from the hand and place it down. So you're making a switch or you're not making a switch. It's either or. Then we're gonna run 2 Dinomundo. Dinomundo is cracked in this deck, and it's technically a part of your combo, so we run 2 copies of it. We're gonna run 1 SP Little Knight, aka Stuart Little, 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess, and 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. So that is the deck list that I was using with the Domatica package. Let me show you the other one. So for this deck list, it's not that big of a difference. We mainly just don't run the Duel and Lockbird. I was running a Fake Veiler at 2. We were still running 3 low, 3 maxi, 3 of everything else. We were still running the Cerberus, we're still running the Trias, we're still running the Nibiru. I was running 2 copies of the Severus, but even in this deck, I would probably bump it down to 1 and get the copy of the Graph. It's just I was playing it like this, so I'm not going to show you something different. And then I was playing 3 prayer preparations. We were playing the 3 prayers, which I think 3 prayers is, you should play the 3 prayers. And then everything else is pretty much the same. The extra deck, the only difference is that we were playing 1 Anima. I was playing Sprite Elf. At some point in time, we were playing 2 SP Little Knights. Those are the only differences. Now, the difference between the decks in terms of how they perform, I like the Nadir Servant one better, but the Nadir Servant one breaks more often. It does allow you to play to more shenanigans and extend more, but it does break more often. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one is more consistent, but it doesn't play through much or as many shenanigans as the other one does, right? So with that being said, enough with the yapping. I got about 8 replays for you guys, so let's get into those. Right, familia, here we are for replay numero uno, number one of the day, and I decided to start off with this one to show you one of the crazy turn one boards that you can make with the deck. So here we're gonna start off by activating the variant of Voiceless Voice, activating its effect to search out a low here. We're gonna normal summon the low, activate the low's effect, setting down a blessing so we could activate the Saphira, send a spell to the graveyard, specifically the prayers, right? And we already have the Skull Guardian in the hand, so we're gonna search out the graph here, the pendulum graph. We're gonna link off the low into a Link Karibo, and we can only make this play here because we have the blessing, right? So we could activate the blessing, bring the low back to the hand, and then we could use the Link Karibo to link off into the Secure Garna. And because a monster was normal or special summon onto the field, that's not a pendulum monster, we activate the blessing, use the lowest material to pendulum summon into a Skull Guardian. Bring it out here. Ritual summon. Did I just say pendulum summon? I'm not used to playing ritual decks, so I might say stupidity. Either way, we're gonna activate the skull. We're gonna activate the low because a light ritual monster was special summon. Low gets to come back onto the field. The skull is gonna search us out the Cerberus, and we do have two spells that we can return back to the deck to special summon the Cerberus, right? And that's my board, which is pretty decent. And we still have the Maxi, even though we only drew like 2 cards out of the Maxi. They're gonna cover the grave that thing. I decided to negate it with this Skull Guardian. We don't know exactly what the heck we're playing against, but it's a 60 card deck. So I know that they're probably gonna want to special summon a bunch of times. So here they chain linked the emergency teleport to it, so I said okay, no problem. So I'm gonna activate the Cerberus here. And with the, am I saying that right? Saravis? Either way, we're gonna special summon the Sarvis, the Asian, and the Ascend. They're gonna special summon a Sharakasai. I'm like, Punk? You're playing Punk? So here we're gonna activate the blessings because again, a monster with special or normal summon onto the field that's not a ritual monster. We're gonna use the lowest materials to ritual summon the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph. Bring it out here. That thing's animation is tough, which is why I like playing it. Bring the low back onto the field, activate the low, set the trap. So our board went from a negate and these two in the back too, but we already used the negate, but now we have a spell negate and we could pop 3 cards on the field if we want to, which is insane. And then we could also stop a special summon as he activates the Sharakasai using 2 monsters to go into the Rising Carp. I said okay, no problem. They're gonna have to pay every time they special summon from the extra deck. They're gonna activate the Rising Cards, special summon 2 monsters here. So I decided to activate the trap to pop both of these monsters. Now I knew that by doing so, he was gonna draw a card here, and then I knew that the Deer Note would special summon this back, but I wasn't too worried about that still, as they're gonna draw a card. Because again, I'm not 100% sure what the heck I'm playing against, even though technically it's Punk. It's a 60 card deck list, so you never know. They activate the Deer Note, special summon the Sharakasai back onto the field, activate the CM and they just normal summon, getting a Foxy Tune. I'm going to draw in Logbear here because I don't really care about drawing cards anymore. Activating the Foxy Tune, they're going to special summon the Madame Spider, which I don't know why they didn't activate it. And then they're going to use both of these monsters to go into the Psychic and Punisher. Unfortunately for them, we do have the Saravis. So we're going to banish the Psychic and Punisher here, and they're going to basically go into a Super Slayer Typhon, bring it out, which doesn't really do much here. So they're going to have to pay 300. They're going to activate the Harpy's Feather Duster. We're going to negate that because I do want my back row still. Put it back in the Pendulum Zone, special summon the Odd Eyes Meteor Burst, and yeah, they're going to scoop. Because even if they can send a card back to the hand, what are they going to send back to the hand and for what reason? So yeah, it's GG's. So as you can see, this deck can put up a very decent turn 1 board with a good amount of disruption. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Alright my boys, here we are for replay numero 2, number 2 of the day. And we're going second against, I think it's a Centurion deck, if I'm not mistaken. The normal summon the Terratop, or special summon the Terratop, activated to get the Taken Board. Special summon the Taken Board here. They're going to use both of these monsters to go into an SP Little Knight, which is interesting. As here they're going to activate the normal summon the Primera, activate the Primera, so of course I'm going to Infinity Permanence that. So they're going to dodge the Infinity Permanence with the SP Little Knight, which makes sense, and I knew that could be a possibility, but what are you doing from here? So you're going to get yourself the stand up. You're going to activate the stand up so you can stand on basements, getting rid of the Infinity Permanence, set it Trudea, special summon Trudea, then set a Gargoyle in the back. Then they're gonna activate the Arrive in Light to put a monster face in the top of the deck. So basically when they draw a card, there's a card they're gonna draw, but they're not gonna draw any cards here now. As they're gonna end their phase, pass it on to us. Here we're gonna activate the barrier of the Voiceless Voice, activating its effect so I can get a Saphira to the hand. We're gonna activate the Saphira here, send it to the graveyard with the prayers. So we could get ourselves a Skull Guardian. We're gonna activate the Saphira, banish her, so we could basically ritual summons as they activate the Gargoyle here. So Gargoyle is gonna special summon itself onto the field. Of course they can make a level 12 now if they want to. We're gonna use the lowest material to go into the Skull Guardian, bring it out here. Give me that is mine. So we're gonna activate the Skull Guardian, activating the low. Here they're gonna activate the standout material so they can stand on business while also throwing out the Max C, which we do have a Ash Blossom for. So negate that. The bug gets negated, hit it with the raid, aka Ash Blossom. The stand-up is going to activate to synchro summon into the Lagatia. Bring it out here. Tough animation, always. And then the low is going to special summon itself onto the field. We're going to get ourselves the Suarvis. I gotta say that right. Let me read this right, man. What was it? Suarvis. That's that thing. So here they're gonna activate the Lagatia, chain block it with the Arriving Light, and then chain block the Arriving Light with the Gargoyle. So there's no point in negating any of this. And I know that we're gonna basically lose the Skull here because they're gonna pop the monster with the highest attack. So get the Skull out of here. Low still gets to activate. We're gonna set the trap, activate the prayers because you popped my Skull. They're gonna activate the Espiritu Knight to banish the low, but no, because we do have that Sweat Abyss. So the Sweat Abyss, if you're targeting me, we get to negate this thing. Stop that right there. The prayers is gonna special summon the other copy of the Skull Guardian back onto the field. We're gonna activate the blessing so we can bless the W by activating its effect, adding the other skull to the hand, activating the Radiant Voice. We're gonna bring the Cerberus back to the deck, and then we're gonna use the blessings because we when we special summon the low, which is not a ritual monster. I get to ritual summon once again into my second copy of the Skull Guardian. Bring it out. Give me that is mine, and animation is also tough. Now we got two big bodies. We're gonna slap the Espiritu Knight once, slap the Lagatia, get it out of here, main phase 2 and phase. And our board is still pretty decent. We have basically an Omni Negate. We can ritual summon, but we don't have, materials yet. And we can pop 2 cards on the field, so not too bad. Here they're gonna activate the Dirt Storm. They're gonna banish a low. No point in negating that at all. They're gonna use both of these monsters to make up into the Nightmare Unicorn. Bring it out here. And again, because you're gonna see why he's not activating this thing, that Duel is because he can't target our monsters. So this Duel is useless against his deck. As he goes into the Nightmare Unicorn, which I was surprised about, they're gonna send a card to the graveyard to bounce back the trap. So I'm gonna choose to pop 2 cards on the field, which is gonna activate the Trudea to special summon it, which I'm perfectly fine with. I mainly just want the Unicorn out of here. He's going to activate the Trudea, put it back with the Primera, activate the Gargoyle, get the Trudea out of here, activate the Primera to special summon it. We're going to negate the Primera 100%. Because that is how they're going to make level 12s. If they don't have that, get it out of here. The Gargoyle gets to come back on the field, but you need a level 4 tuner. So he's going to normal summon a Trudea, which does nothing here, and it's GG's. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Right, gang, here we are for replay numero 3, I believe it is, number 3, and we're going first against Duel. Now here, when I have the Divine of Herald and then I have the low, I usually like to start out with the Diviner, because if the Diviner goes to the graveyard, we can still special summon the low later by that effect and do things that way. So we're going to activate the Diviners in the Trias, activate the Trias, get the Diviner out of here, which is going to trigger the Diviner, which is what I was telling you, we can special summon the low. But we're going to get hit with an Ash Blossom, unfortunately. But we're not too worried as of right now because we do have the barrier, so we're going to activate the barrier's effect. We're going to search out a Saphira here, activate Saphira's effects, and then to the graveyard to send the prayers to search out our Skull Guardian. We're going to activate the Saphira, banishing it, which allows us to use the lowest material to ritual summon into our Skull Guardian, which works out really well because now we activate the Skull Guardian, activate the low gets a special summon, and we get to activate her effect. So with the Guardian, we're going to search out the Graph. With the low, we're gonna activate to set down the blessing, activating the blessing to get the Saphira back to the hand. Now, mind you, we could have done this combo way differently and ended up with a probably better board, but I decided to do the combo this way. We're gonna add the Saphira back to the hand. Then I'm gonna use the low, link up into the Link Karibo. We're going to activate the blessings. We're gonna send the Sword Abyss. That way we can ritual summon the Pendulum Graph, bring it out here. Then we're gonna use both of these monsters, the Link Karibo and the Skull, to go into the Dynamondo. Bring it out here. Tough animation as well. I'm glad that a cool deck got this card to use because this thing has a really solid animation. Now, we do the Dynamondo combo. The Dyno combo dies to a Call by the Grave, which is right here. If we didn't have this Pendulum Graph onto the field, we would probably lose this duel 100%. That's why we made the Pendulum Graph. When I do the Dynamondo, I like to do the combo that way, because the Pendulum Graph protects us from the Call by the Grave. Put this thing back in the Pendulum Zone, negate this thing, special summon the Meteor Burst. And now we get to special summon the Skull back onto the field, and we get to special summon the Low back onto the field. The Low gets to activate and we can set the traps. Now we would have had two pop cards or two pop cards on the field if we had the graph on the field, but we don't have it, so now we only have one pop. So here they're gonna activate the opening of the gates on his Rock League, getting himself the Dark Beckoning Beast, so that way he could search out the Chaos Summoning Beast. He's gonna trigger this effect by normal summoning again both of these monsters. They're gonna go into the Unchained Soul, Lord of Yamame. Activate the Yamame's effect, getting himself the Unchained Soul Shavara to the hand, activating the opening of the Spirit Gates, getting rid of the Shavara. So here I decided to pop the opening of the Spirit Gates because that means that you can special summon whatever you try to special summon from the graveyard. So we're basically negating it by popping it. Stop that right there. I don't want them getting any more bodies on the field. He's gonna activate the Shavara, set the escape in the back row, activating the Nightmare Pain, activate Nightmare Pain's effect. We're definitely gonna negate and destroy that because that is basically the bridge to making your bell plays. Stop that right there. Now he's gonna activate the Triple Tactic Talent because this guy is really talented, as you can see. He's gonna take over our Skull. Use both of these monsters to go into the Unchained Souls of Anguish. I am feeling anguish, but how the heck you got all these cards? But either way, he's gonna basically take the Meteor Burst, use it as material to link off into the Muckraker. Activate the Muckraker's effect by sending a card to the graveyard, which is another Triple Tactic Talent. Bringing the Unchained back onto the field. I'm gonna get rid of the Low to special summon the Link Karibo. He's gonna attack. We're gonna diminish the attack to 0. And now we get to keep the Triads. We're gonna activate the Outer Pendulum Graph to get the prayers back to the hand and the Outer Pendulum Graph back to the hand, which means we could immediately Ritual Summon, which is insane. So here we're gonna normal summon the Diviner. We're gonna activate the Blessings because again a monster was normal summoned. Now they're gonna activate the Escape to pop the Blessing. I was hoping they would wait with the pop so I could activate this and bring the Low back to the hand, but it didn't work out that way. But we're fine here. We're gonna send the Enters to the graveyard to pop the Muckraker. They're gonna activate the Unchained Souls, Lord of Yama. They're gonna activate also the Anguish in the graveyard. So the Anguish is gonna basically get the Dark Beckoning Beast back to the hand. The Lord of Yama is gonna special summon the Anguish, and like I said, we're gonna pop the Muckraker. We're gonna activate the Barrier here, getting ourselves the Skull Guardian, activating the Prayers. We're gonna get rid of the Triads, so we can use it as material to go into the Skull Guardian. We're gonna activate the Skull Guardian's effect, activating the Low. The Low is gonna special summon itself back onto the field, which is nuts. And then with the Guardian, we're gonna get ourselves the Sword of Risk, just in case they wanna target us. We're also gonna activate the Low. Now again, we only play one copy of the Blessing and we already used the trap, so what I can do is set another barrier. As we activate the Saphira, send the prayers to the graveyard, bring the Skull Guardian back to the hand, activate the Saphira, banish it, and we're gonna use the Diviner and the Drolling Logbird to Ritual Summon into a second copy of the Skull Guardian. Bring it out here. Big Body Benson, we're gonna activate the Diviner to special summon another Low, slap the Anguish in the face, slap our opponent for the 4100, activate the Link Karibo, bring this back. I could have done this in the battle phase though and done 300 damage more to the face. I just didn't want to, and we're gonna use both of these monsters to go into the SP Little Knight, aka Stuart Little, activate her effect, banish the Anguish out of the graveyard, set down the Outer Pendulum Graph, activate the Graph, bring the prayers back to the hand. Bring the graph back to the hand. And our board is still pretty decent. SP Little Knight plus his Omni Negate. Of course, they open up with the Spirit of Yubel. Bring both of these back. Now they have a Monster Negate. They're going to activate the Dire Beckoning Beast. So I activated the SP Little Knight to banish the Phantom of Yubel. I did want to get rid of that thing, but maybe I should have targeted the Dark Beckoning Beast. But either way, they're going to activate it because, again, I wanted to force it out. And we're going to 100% negate that. Why? Because they still don't have Yubel plays, and this allows them to go into Yubel play just by negating. So we're going to negate that and pop it. As he activates the Dark Beckoning Beast, getting himself the Spirit of the Gates once again. Activate the Spirit, getting himself the Chaos Summoning Beast back to their hand, which they're gonna normal summon. They're gonna go into an Unchained Soul of Yama. Which here I'm like, what are you doing, bro? What is left for you to do? So you activate this thing's effect, get the Shavara back to the hand. Now he activates the gate, send the Shavara to the graveyard. You don't play more than one trap. Bring the Dark Beckoning Beast back onto the field and make an SP Little Knight. He can't even target both of these. He just has to target my back row and slap himself into lethal damage. Because the whole thing is, if you're playing against Yubel, if you can control them and make them not get into Yubel shenanigans, the Unchained package does nothing in this deck by itself. It does something, but it's not going to do as much as the Yubel package is going to do. So if you can control the game, stop them from making Yubel plays, you might be alright. So let's continue. Alright, familia, here we are for replay number 4, number 4 today. And we're going second against Tier Limits. 60 card power. They're going to activate the card of destruction, so I throw out the Maxi immediately, because it's going to go to the graveyard anyway. Now, I wasn't sure what the heck I was playing against either. I thought it was like Dark World, but no, it's Tier Limits. And bro had the 1 card combo right here too to do the shenanigans, but I guess they wanted to disrupt me, but they basically gave me a better hand for going second. As they activate the Super Polymerization, they're going to use the Hobness here and the Tier Limit Katsura materials to go into the Kid Kalos. But even though his hand became better, activating the Kid Kalos, activate the Hobness, and then they're going to activate the Tier Limit Katsura, which chain blocks everything else. But we are going to activate the Effect Veiler to negate both of the effects of the Kid Kalos. Stop that right there. So again, they mill 2 card here. The Hobness gets to activate. He's going to send the Hobness and the King of the Swamp to make a Garfa Dragon Overlord of the Dark World. Grapha, my fault. I remember when Grapha came out and the thing was nuts in this deck. So here we got a pretty decent hand. We unfortunately have 2 Maxis. We're going to activate the Diviner. The Grapha is going to activate, which makes it so I have to discard a card instead of activating the Diviner. So we're basically... Well, yeah, they have to discard a card. So they discard the Left Arm Offering. Here we're basically going to activate the Safura, which was in my hand, but you put in the graveyard. So now we're going to use all 3 of these monsters to go into the Skull Guardian. Because this allows me to start off my combo, activate the Skull Guardian, activate the Diviner. Diviner is going to special summon a low. They're going to activate the Fairy Tail Snow here. I'm 100% going to call by the grave that thing. Yeah, we could save it for the Kid Kalos, but I have plans for the Kid Kalos. So we're going to cover the grave, the Fairy Tail Snow. Get that thing out of here. November. Again, we're going to special summon the low. The Skull is going to search out a Survirus here. We're going to activate the low, setting down the barrier, activate the barrier, getting ourselves the blessing to the hand, set the blessing down, activate the blessing's effect, bring back the Seraphara. Definitely could have done things differently here too, but either way we're going to activate the Seraphara here, send the prayer to the graveyard, search out the Swaravis, the Ancient, and the Ascended, bring 2 cards back to special summon the Swaravis, activate the blessings, and I get to use this thing effect to special summon the Swaravis, the Ascended, and then we could definitely slap over both of these cards that are on the field, and they're not going to have anything. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Yes, sir. Here we are for replay number 5, number 5 of the day. And we're going first against Centurion. So here we're going to activate the preparation so we can prepare for the W, getting yourself the prayers and the Skull Guardian to the hand. We're going to activate the Sephira, send it to the graveyard, send the prayers, and get ourselves the Odd Eyes Pendulum Grab. Send 2 of the spells back to special summon the Sword of His Dragon Sage onto the field. We're going to activate the prayers so we can ritual summon. They're going to hit us with a Maxi. So we're going to activate that. We can't start the Maxi. So I activate the Server's Dragon Sage. bring it back to the hand, special summon the Ancient and the Ascendant. Now we're gonna use the Cerberus that we bring back to the hand as material to make the Skull Guardian. Now, of course, we could have made the low, use the low as material, but I didn't want to use the low because then I would have to special summon the low and give it an extra card. I didn't want to do that. So we activate the Skull here, getting ourselves another Saphira to the hand. Normal summon the low, activate the low, set the barrier of the Voiceless, getting ourselves the Radiance. And honestly speaking, I think getting the Blessing here would have been better than the Radiance, but it is what it is. We're going to set the Odd Eyes Pendulum, set the Radiance is the end phase, so we bring back the Prayers, and we bring back the Pendulum Grab back to the hand. So yeah, so maybe I should have gotten the Blessing, because with the Blessing, then I could have Pendulum Summoned the Graph, special summon the low back onto the field, and then I could have set the trap that way. That would have been probably better. But it is what it is. As they activate the Raigeki here, we're going to have to negate that because we don't want to lose the board. We're going to activate the Radiance of the Voiceless just in case. They're going to Max C here, which Max C number 2, I'm like, alright, no problem. So, yeah, we're going to negate the Raigeki, pop it, get it out of here. We're going to activate the Radiance now. If you're wondering what the heck are you doing, why are you doing this? So I'm sending the spell back to the deck to get a low because he's threatening me with the battle phase, which means he has an evenly match. So I decided to get myself the follow-up for next turn before we have to basically wipe out almost the whole board, only leaving the Agent of the Ascendant. They're going to activate the tuning, getting themselves a Startle Synchron. Now I'm going to draw and Lockbird this because no more adding to the hand. They're going to normal summon a Chudea, activate Chudea, get a Primera, special summon the Primera. And I'm happy that I draw and Lockbird because here they could have searched out for the stand up to stand on business, but because we draw and Lockbird, basically this is nothing. And we did search out our 1-card starter, which we're gonna normal summon the low, activate the low, set the barrier, activate the barrier, get ourselves the blessing so we could bless the W. We're going to link off into the link to Rebo. Now we get to activate the blessing, bring the low back to the hand. We're going to activate the Saphira, banish the Saphira so we can ritual summon Maxi number 3. That's insane, bro. That's insane, bro. We really played 3 Maxi. Get the low out of here so we can ritual summon the Skull Guardian. Of course, we're going to activate the Skull Guardian. We're going to follow with the low. Even if we have to give him more cards, it is what it is. Bring the low back onto the field. We're going to get ourselves another low to the hand here. We're going to activate the blessing to use this low so we can ritual summon the Pendulum Grab Dragon. Get out here, tough animation. Now we're going to activate the Saphira, and he's going to Ash that, which I'm perfectly fine with. I was just going to search out another ritual monster, specifically that's what it is. So that way if they target us, or if we could ritual summon during their turn, we could have. Using the low, special summon the low back, and you know, do the thing. So here we're going to slap the Primera, get it out of here, slap the Chudea, get it out. We definitely do not have equal damage. Slap for 300, slap for 50. Why is this thing so tiny? You might as well give this thing 0 attack, because what the heck is 50 attack? Here they're going to activate the tuning, getting themselves another Startle Synchron to the hand. They're going to send a top card to the graveyard, activating the stand up. Okay, he had to draw into this. I was going to say what? But alright, he's going to activate the stand up. Send a card to the graveyard. We're going to activate the Pendulum Grab Dragon. Because if this thing is negated, what are you supposed to do? That's your main searcher. So with that being said, we played through 3 Maxis and an evenly match. Yeah, okay, let's continue. Here we are for replay number 6 of the day. And after that, we have 2 more. So here we're gonna normal summon the low, activate the low's effect. We're gonna get hit with the side frame gear gamma. Of course we could have ashed this, but I decided not to. It's that simple, man. Negate that, pop it, get it out of here, and we're just gonna end the phase here. I decided that I could defend myself pretty well with the Ash Blossom and the Nibiru, and then we still have 2 1-card starters that we're gonna special summon the Abastar, activate the Abastar. I'm toggled off, so he's comfortable activating the spoils. Now I toggle back on to activate the Ash, negate the spoils. That's that right there. No me gusta. Yeah, we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that at all. Negate that, that's going to end their turn. Like I said, I thought I could defend myself pretty well with Ash and Nibiru. So here we're going to start with the Diviner. We're going to send the Trias to the graveyard, activate the Trias, get the Diviner out of here. To special summon the Trias, Max C game. It's the game we play. It's just the game we play. Special summon the Trias in attack position. We're gonna activate the Herald, special summon the low, activate the low so I can get myself the barrier, activate the barrier, get the Saphira to the hand, activate the Saphira, send it to the graveyard and the prayers, search out the skull. We're going to activate the Saphira. Yeah, well, we're gonna special summon this thing. Send the other low to the graveyard so that way we can ritual summon into the Skull Guardian. Guard me, please. Activate the Guardian's effect, activating the low. Yeah, I'm doing it, bro. We're going all out. Special summon that thing too. Bring it out here. 50 attack. Getting ourselves the Sweat of Viz, the Asian. Then we're gonna use both of these monsters to make ourselves the Chaos Angel. Bring it out here. I was trying to find a way to do lethal damage. Clearly, it was almost impossible to do. So we're just gonna go with this and then deal with the board as we set down our Radiance in the back. Which our board isn't too bad. We have an Omni Negate. We're technically protected from being targeted. This also protects us from targeting shenanigans. And I have a Nymph. So I'm not too worried as they're going to activate the spoils. Return the Diablo-Star so they get themselves the Ash. So here they're going to activate the Subversion. They're going to target the Chaos Angel. Now yes, we could have negated that, but Chaos Angel is kind of useless to us. We don't have any Synchro monsters onto the field. So what the heck do I even care? Here they're gonna normal summon the Ash, activate the Ash. We're gonna definitely negate and pop that because by doing so we're stopping 2 effects unless and that's his normal summon as well. So here they're gonna activate the Bonfire. Bonfire activate to get themselves the Poplar. Here he's gonna activate the Poplar, special summon the Poplar, activate the Fire King Island. So here I'm gonna activate the Radiance. And I'm gonna activate the Radiance effect immediately to pop the Fire King Island. Get the thing out of here. Which is also gonna trigger to pop the Poplar. Now you activate the Poplar, put in the back row. But you're already normal summon. You already used, which I'm assuming is the 1 copy of your Fire King Island. It's popped now, you can't get it back. There's no way for you to pop a fire monster to start doing Fire King shenanigans. Yeah, it's pretty GG's. It's good games after that. That's why sometimes you just have to be patient. And if you know what the heck your opponent is doing, you might be able to play to some shenanigans. Because if I would have negated that Subversion, yeah, we would have lost the game. Yeah, we lost a big body, but you know, we managed to come up with a W. So let's continue. Here we are for replay number 7. And we're going first against Kashtira, Horus Kashtira. So we're going to activate the Divineness and the Trias, get the Trias out of here, special summon it, activate Divineness, special summon the low, activate the low, set the barrier, get the blessing, set the blessing, link off into the Link Karibo. Now we use the blessing to bring the low back to the hand. Now we're going to use both of these monsters to link off into the SP, the Little Knight, activate the blessing, send the low, to ritual summon into the Skull Guardian, activate the Guardian, activate the low, special summon the low, get ourselves the Saphira, send the Saphira to the graveyard, the prayers, get ourselves the Sweat of Viz, set down our back row and end our turn. Which is a pretty good, decent board here. 100%. Now we're going to throw the Max C, because that's the game we play. There are the Sirens, I'm going to special summon a Kashtira. I'm going to activate the Blessings, send the low out of here to special summon the Sweat of Viz, activate the low to special summon it back onto the field. I was about to say, why can't I set the trap? But either way, they're going to activate the Unicorn. As we activate the low to set the trap here, we're going to negate the Unicorn with the effect value that we just drew into. Negate that thing right there. Set down the Radiance of the Voiceless. They're going to activate the Horus. We're going to call by the grave that thing, the Amseti, get it out of here. Of course, they're going to activate the Rainbow Bridge though. And we're not going to negate that. They're going to get their field spell, that's fine with us. Because again, I wasn't too sure what the heck I was playing against. If it was really like a Kashtira Horus Kashtira, if it was like, you know, just Horus with Kashtira stuff, but it might have been Tears. I don't know what the heck, alright? So here they do get themselves the Walls of the Imperial. Amseti gets fingered and negated, get it out of here. They activate the walls. So now I'm going to activate the Radiance to pop both of these cards. Because I don't want them having the wall. The wall is going to let them search stuff, do things. We're not going to allow that. Stop that right there and that's GG's. So with that being said, let's go into the next replay. Right, gang, here we are for the last replay of the day. Where we're going second against, I believe it's Sorso. By the way, if you hear squealing, if you made it this far into the video, they're cutting the dog's nails, so you might hear that. So here they're going to special summon the Ahara, normal summon the Moyi, they're going to activate the Moyi, I'm going to infinite impermanence that. They're going to activate the Heavenly Dragon Circle, get the Moyi out of here. Which, makes me think like, what are you? Okay, they're gonna get the strategies to the hand. We infinite impermanence nothing because they dodge it. They get the token. They're gonna activate the strategist. Send the Taya to the graveyard. Special summon another token. Use the token in the long jump to make a social sinister. Activating the strategist, burning us for the 1200 and in their turn. Can't you make? Well, no, this is not an effect mode. So I was gonna say, can you make Spirit or Knight with this? I feel like he could have made way better or different plays here. But either way, we have to play around this thing in the back row. We're gonna activate the preparations, getting ourselves the prayers, getting ourselves the Skull Guardian. Now we're gonna activate the prayers here. We're gonna send the Skull Guardian to special summon or ritual summon the Skull Guardian. We're going to activate Skull Guardian's effect, which is going to infinite impermanence. I'm perfectly fine with that. It is what it is. I was mainly trying to bait out whatever that backward was, which I thought it was Black Hole, but I'm glad that it's just an infinite impermanence. Now we're going to return to the spell to special summon the Spider Face Dragon Stage. I'm going to use both of these monsters to go into the Dynamondo. Because with the Dynamondo, we get to send back a Skull, and then we get to send this thing back to the extra deck. Yeah, they activate the thing's effect to basically banish this thing and burn us for 1200 again, which I'm perfectly fine with. Bring the Skull back, because now we have the 1-card starter. Normal summon the low, get the barrier, activate the barrier, get ourselves the Sophera, activate Sophera Ascended, send the prayers, bring back the Skull, activate Sophera, use the low as material to bring the Skull back onto the field. Low gets to special summon itself back onto the field. Now we get to attack over the token, attack over the Adara, and then we get to use both of these to go into Dynamondo again. Now this is hella risky because if it draws into Coldbite, we're done. But we're gonna activate the Dynamondo, bring back the Skull Guardian. Protect me, please. Bring back the low, activate the low, and we're just gonna set the trap for a pop a card on the field. And yeah, it's GG's. So with that being said, let's go back to the deck list. Alright, familia, so that is the replays, those are the games. Now, is this deck worth it? Is this deck worth all the money, all the shenanigans, having to build it, yada yada yada? Yes and no. If you enjoy a chill deck that you don't have to think too much to play, it's very kind of simple but not linear, then yes, this deck is very enjoyable. I personally enjoy playing it. I personally enjoy figuring out how I'm gonna try to play around my opponent's board and all the shenanigans. But in terms of gems and all that, if you don't have a lot of gems, a lot of resources, don't go and try and build this. Don't go and try and build it, because there are a lot of different decks in this game that are way cheaper than this and kind of do a lot of similar things to what this deck does. You know, there's a lot of decks that set up about 1 Omni Negate and 2 pop cards on the field and protection against target, and there's other decks that do that. So this thing is gonna cost you an arm and a leg, but you will enjoy it. But it's gonna cost you the arm and the leg. So is it worth it to me? If I was free to play and didn't have the resources, no, I wouldn't go for it. But if you can and you really want to, again, it's a chill deck, then yes, it is worth it. Now again, this is the Dogmatica one, and then this is the other one that I was playing. Here, the only difference is a few hand traps, and we were playing the Graph and the Dogmatica package. The Dogmatica package is better for playing around shenanigans, playing through more things, having more extensions. This one is just more consistent. So with that being said, again, I hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, because I would greatly appreciate it. Enough with the yapping. Continue having a great day, and I'm going to catch you guys next time. Peace!